week, and we call that the Afterglow, which is just happened in Texas this morning. We do it every Friday morning, and I'm going to give you guys a confession to repeat after me, and we're going to do 15 of them, okay? And so I'll say the confession, you repeat after me, and we'll just start with big energies because we believe that building community matters, and we believe that confessions, our words, create our world, okay? So today is an incredible day. Success, abundance, and prosperity in many different forms have naturally found their way into this room. We gratefully enjoy these blessings throughout our day and happily share these blessings with others so they may be blessed as well. Number one, I am happy.
I'm happy.
Number two, I am healthy.
I'm healthy.
Number three, I am wealthy.
I'm wealthy.
Number four, I am loved.
I am loved.
Number five, I am secure.
I am secure.
Number six, I am worthy.
I am worthy.
Number seven, I am forgiving.
I am forgiving.
Number eight, I am forgiven.
I am forgiven.
Number nine, I am blessed.
I am blessed.
Number 10, I am grateful.
I am grateful.
Number 11, I am beautiful.
I'm beautiful.
Number 12, I am confident.
I am confident.
Number 13, I am courageous.
I'm courageous.
Number 14, I am strong.
I'm strong.
And number 15, I am excited about today.
I'm excited about today.
All right, high five someone next to you and grab a sit-down piece.
All right.
Ashley, I'll high five you.
Oh, right on, right on. I love it. I love it.
All right, so let's get into my story. And so I come from a humble beginnings, similar to Eddie. I want to just level the playing field and let everybody know that wealth, I believe, is not financial. But wealth is about your spiritual wealth, your health. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. And I also believe that wealth is financial because money is only good for the good that it can do. And we see that operated from the top down at Realty of America with the turkey giveaway and the backpacks. And Eddie is absolutely, if you spend any time with him in Berwyn or this area, he's a community pillar because he does great things with the money that he's been blessed to steward over. And so I come from a small town, Burleson, Texas, where it was so funny because I was in church choir with Kelly Clarkson, and then I went to high school with Kelly Clarkson, and all 4 years in high school, and then church choir with Kelly Clarkson, and then we both graduated and signed to Universal Records. And so she was a label mate of mine at Universal Records. And we went on, our band, Forever the Sickest Kids, to have massive success. We are still a band, but we don't tour like we used to. And we had a #1 record at Top 40 Radio in Japan over Katy Perry's I Kissed a Girl and Coldplay Vida La Vida. And so we have played in Indonesia, we've played in the Philippines, we've played all over the world, Brazil. And that business experience of seeing all these different areas of the world has led me to have the confidence and work ethic that it takes to be successful in real estate. Actually, I got into real estate and I was like, this is easy. It was so hard to promote yourself and guerrilla marketing and all the things from the music industry. And I came and applied that same work ethic to real estate. And it was like it just came natural. And success just was a byproduct of the hard work. And so I have 3 children. I have Gates Cook, who's my 9-year-old son, Shepard Cook, who's my 7-year-old son, and Larkin Cook, who's my 3-year-old daughter. And I have 3 sisters. I'm the only boy. And I've lived in Texas my entire life. And so my 2 careers that I've had is a musician and selling real estate. And so I was at Keller Williams for 11 years. Loved that place, learned so much there, learned the Red Book inside and out. And then I was introduced to Eddie and Mark early last year, around September of last year. Got a phone call from Chad Smith, and he said, I'm considering something big, a big move for me. Would you just come here and meet these 2 guys that have asked me to come fly to Chicago 4 or 5 times, and I've said no, but they've flown in to see me. And I was like, absolutely, let's go see this. And so I met Mark Demas. I met Eddie Garcia. I heard their story. Wasn't even considering a brokerage move, but you know, life has thrown so much change at all of us through COVID, and now we're past that, and a new president, and all the things that we have changing right now. When I met them, a change just became an exciting idea in my head, and I learned at Keller Williams what you focus on expands, and I just could not get it out of my head. Eddie and Mark. It was like Eddie was in my thoughts. Eddie was at the forefront of my dreams. Not a weird way. And I know what you guys are thinking. And Mark and Eddie just continue to reach out and be friendly and be a friend and be a support. And I was like, man, I've never felt this anywhere I've ever been. It's like I was a person to them. It was like I had an instant brother in Houston and an instant brother in Berwyn, Illinois. And you know, we've just built on that and grown that. And so I joined ROA in November. And I believe that I have a lot of value to give on the subject that I'm going to talk about today. So I'm excited to dive in.
Oh, 100%. Well, and I know really our theme today is about millions of views, but it's not just about the tactical and practical that you are going to get into. It's about the mindset. So are you ready to dive in to the tactical and practical?
Yeah, let's
All right,
do that.
let's
Y'all
do
ready?
It. Let's do it. I want to call this Jonathan Unplugged. Okay, so we're going into Jonathan Unplugged mode.
All right, I love that. Is
All
that
right,
okay? Is
let's
that okay?
do it.
All right, Jonathan Unplugged mode. By the way, those of you that are watching online, I want to show you honor and say hello to everyone online. So if you're watching in the chat right now, would you just drop the country, the state, the city that you're watching from live in the chat? Let's just have some community being built in the chat today as well. And we honor you guys. You're missing out if you're not in the room because the energy in here is different than it is online, but that's the second best place to be today. So we welcome you guys. Today I'm going to set some groundwork. So I'm going to challenge every one of you online and in person, but I'm not going to hold you accountable. Okay? So everybody write this down. This is the first thing that I want you guys to write down. I'm willing to do the work from what I learned today. And that's a commitment to yourself. It's not to me. I'm willing to do the work from what I learned today. And I'd like to give a special shout out to our team, the Jonathan Cook team, back watching at the world headquarters in Crowley, Texas. So hello to all you guys, and thank you for tuning in. But there's a gift inside each one of you guys, and today I'm going to help you pull that out. Okay? There's a lot of stigma that goes around social media of I'm not pretty enough, my teeth aren't as white as hers, my hair is not as cool as his, and my outfit may not be perfect. What if I stumble over my words? What if my topic is not well received? What if I have food in my middle teeth? There's all these things that we can prevent ourselves from being on social media. And guys, I remember because I grew up in the days before social media where when I was starting a company 11 years ago in real estate, we would literally do what's called a bold 100. And if we were going to touch 100 people in a day, and we accomplished that, we would get a lapel pin that said Bold 100 in purple because it was so difficult to touch 100 people in one day. Some of you in the room are nodding your heads because you're familiar with the term Bold 100, where it literally took, the Bold coaches would say, just so you know, most likely this is going to take from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. to touch 100 people. I couldn't stand that. I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, I haven't done anything for 12 hours straight in my entire life. I am literally a squirrel. And anybody else a squirrel? Like it just ADHD riddles you, and you know that it's a blessing and a curse all in one. So I'm that way. And I tried it, and I got to like 21 contacts, and I'm like, I'm tired. I'm hungry. I want a steak. And I would walk out of my office and go do something else. And I only accomplished a Bold 100 twice in my career. And then I said, you know what? This is something brand new. At the time, Facebook Live had just come out. I'm going to go try to get on camera at my newest listing, and I'm going to go live. I have long arms. Look at this. I have, like, long arms. So I don't have T-Rex arms. Some people, like, couldn't go live because it just wouldn't look. But I'm, like, blessed. I have long arms. And so my first video, the angle was actually pretty cool, and it worked. And I got off the live, and I hit end, and it said, do you want to post this now? And I hit post. I had 686 people that watched that while I was on live for like 13 to 15 minutes. I was like, I just did a Bold 600. And it took no energy. Like I drove my car to this property. It was gorgeous, so it sold itself. And I was on live, and I was like, dude, forget the Bold 100 model. I'm going the ways of Facebook Live. And then I've been doing that now for 11 years, and I've come off Facebook Live before and had like 11,000 views. Like, it's just the power of video. Everybody write this down. The power of video is for my exponential success. Guys, you only have so much time in a day. It's the great equalizer of our world. I don't care if you're Myrna Smith or Eddie Garcia or Ashley Polito or Taylor Perkey or you're Brandon in the back running the show, and thank you to guys behind the scenes. There's so many guys behind the scenes. We all have the same amount of time in a day. So why would I sit there and dial after dial after dial after dial after dial without adding on top of it a Facebook Live as well. Now, don't hop off the dialing. Communication is where we win. And a lot of you in the room today that are real estate agents or thinking about being real estate agents or online today and you're a real estate agent, you win belly to belly. You win face to face. So being on those calls and you're great communicators, don't drop that. Let's just take it to another level. So I'm going to say today that there's a gift inside each one of you. I'm going to help you find it. I want to have our shoulders back and our chin up. Instagram Reels. Let's switch gears for a second from Facebook Live, and let's compare Facebook Live to Instagram Reels. Really, the only difference is the platform that you're on, okay? Instagram Reels, Oh, what if I fumble my words? I just did, right? Just do it, right? Instagram Reels and Facebook Live videos are similar. Matter of fact, you can take your Facebook Live video, download it, put it up on Instagram Reels, add some hashtags, and actually repurpose the content and go get a different set of views on a different platform. Is anyone doing Facebook Live in the room right now? If you've ever done a live video on Facebook, raise your hand high and be very proud of this. I want to see. All right? Awesome. About a third of the room. That's awesome. Is anybody doing Instagram Reels right now? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. I just want to know who the audience in the room is and who we're talking to. This stat might actually blow you guys away. I'm going to rank the social media real quick. Anybody have a guess in the room what the number one most monthly active user social media platform is? Anybody have a guess? Just shout it out. YouTube? Okay. Facebook? TikTok? Okay. All right, cool. So actually, Facebook is number one. Y'all might want to write this down, so get your pens out. I'm going to give you some cool stats. Facebook has 3.5 billion monthly active users. Number one social media profile. Who said Facebook? You win 10,000 gold virtual stars. I'll give them to you in a little bit. You win. YouTube is second, so he said YouTube. 2.5 billion monthly active users. There's a billion more active users on Facebook. So a lot of us that are my age, and I'm 41 years old, a lot of us that are my age have been on Facebook a long time, and we get told all the time, nah, everybody's going to TikTok, everybody's going to Instagram. People aren't on Facebook like they used to be. Truth is, Facebook is still the reigning champion of social media platforms, okay? And YouTube, who owns YouTube? Google. YouTube is owned by Google, so although it's second place, it's mighty, mighty powerful because the biggest search engine in the world owns it. So hashtags is what makes things scalable. I'm going to say that again. Hashtags is what makes things scalable. If it's searchable, it's scalable. All right, so if you guys are using videos, here's tip number one. Make sure and add your hashtags. And I know this is being consumed worldwide, so there's some people online that are saying, I thought hashtags went away last month. Anybody see the big articles? Hashtags are going away. And they did. They went away for about 2 weeks. They realized that was a terrible idea, and now hashtags are back. So the algorithms are pulling from hashtags again. That was kind of interesting to watch the platforms without hashtags underperforming, and that was kind of a neat thing to be a part of. It was also neat to see TikTok get shut down for 24 hours. Was anybody a part of that? That will probably be a historical moment that we get to tell our grandchildren about. I remember when TikTok shut down. I took a screenshot just so I can share that with my grandkids someday.
So, Jonathan, I know you just mentioned hashtags.
Yes.
And I remember when we were chatting before the show,
Yeah.
you said, man, I wonder if anyone knows what the top 5 most powerful hashtags are. Mm-hmm. Would this be a good moment for you to share that
you want
information?
that value?
Yeah, you guys want
Top 5
the
hashtags.
Top 5?
Okay. So this is really interesting. Just the simple hashtag of real estate is one of the top 5 hashtags for real estate. But I want to make sure that you guys have your city in front of it and behind it. So the 3 hashtags I'd be talking about here would be real estate, realtor, and then Fort Worth realtor, realtor Fort Worth real estate, and then real estate Fort Worth. So always have your city. So those would be the top 3. Then For You page went away for a little bit, but it's back. So make sure on every post that you have FYP, the acronym for You page. So hashtag FYP. Foxtrot, Yankee, Papa, and then the written out hashtag For You page. Now, what's interesting is the moment that this stuff gets posted, all these different platforms are looking for which ones did well in the first 60 to 90 seconds, and can we broadcast to a little bit larger audience, and then a little bit larger audience, and try it there, and if it does good, we're going to send it to the For You page. Once you get sent to the For You page, it's over. Like, I remember I filmed a video that I'm going to allude to in just a minute on TikTok at the Dallas Cowboys game right around Halloween. It was like 4 days before Halloween, and Micah Parsons came out. I was waiting outside where the players come out of the locker room. He came out in a lion suit, and he was holding his infant son, and he raised up his infant son like, who's on the Lion King? What's his name? Simba. Like, he came off the player elevator, and all these fans are waiting, and he's dressed as a lion. Micah Parsons is hilarious. He's a player on the Cowboys. And he raised up his son, and I caught that moment, and I posted it on Instagram, and we were like 4 days before Halloween anyways, and like an hour later, it had 288,000 views. Like, hashtag For You page took it and sent it. And I was like texting my friends, because at that time I'd only gotten like 5,000 and 10,000 views on my stuff, and to see something have over 250,000 in like 30 minutes to an hour, I was like, holy cow, this thing's growing legs. I finally feel the power of a viral video. And 2 hours later, it had 500,000. I woke up in the morning, it had 1.5 million views, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But what I was doing different as a realtor, and I want everybody to write this down because this is law number 3 for the room, is be authentic. Okay, I wasn't in front of a house and doing a sped up video of, look at me at 123 Main Street, and let's go see the master bedroom. Oh, primary bedroom. Not allowed to say that, right? Let's go see the primary suite. And so many people do that, and that's fantastic, and that's a great way to sell your product. But at the end of the day, you're selling yourself. There has been this amazing wipe through all social media where they think we're selling the product, and we are. We are selling the product. Like, if you are at Cash America Pawn, you've got to know what's inside your case, and you've got to know how much it's for sale for. And I want you guys to always showcase your inventory. But what people miss is you're selling yourself. Because people do business with what? People they know, like, and trust. And so today we're talking about building community, but also building our brand, okay? And so doing videos that are authentic to you, thank you so much for the people that are in the front row, but y'all are gonna have different passions than I do. And so one way I've built my profiles is filming things that are authentic to me. That way people fall in love with me and my passions. If we're like-minded, we found common ground, and they're gonna be a follower for life. Okay, so let's look at, was that helpful? Did y'all get the 5 hashtags? So your realtor, keeping it real estate is number 5. That is a huge hashtag, keeping it real estate. So that's a nationwide hashtag that's caught on. But I would make sure you guys are using several cities in your area. Like, if we're here, we're using not just Chicago, but also Berwyn and other suburbs around. We have so many, what are some of the suburbs here? Palatine. Oak Park. So Oak Park Realtor Oak Park, and you think about, here's how I know if it's a great hashtag. You just kind of reverse engineer it. If it's something I would search, if I'm looking for a realtor in this area, it's a great hashtag. Homes for sale in Berwyn, that's a great hashtag. Chicago homes for sale. Luxury homes of Chicago, great hashtag.
And Jonathan, how do you feel about, their brand, their name, their team name? How about that?
Thank you for bringing that up.
Absolutely. You got to be branding yourself.
Yeah, so the Jonathan Cook team. I am Jonathan Cook, which is my Instagram handle. Matter of fact, if you like those confessions that we started with, DM me on Instagram, and I'll send you our confession list. Is that cool? That'd be cool? So you can wake up, stare yourself in the mirror, and repeat those confessions to yourself daily. Here's something that's really important. This is like a 30-second disclaimer for this topic. This topic can send you into a massive downward spiral of depression if you let those likes and those comments be your validity. Do you know what I'm talking about? There is a way that everyone in here could do this in a way where it's actually healthy for yourself. And you say, man, I am happy, I am healthy, I'm actually beautiful no matter what the comments say. So when some of these comments in these videos, like, I have some videos that have 4.5 million views, and if I go read the comments, they're horrible. One of the most gnarly and rude communities out there for comments are the people that have no name on TikTok, and they're just user 6,541,000, and all of a sudden they have ability to speak over my videos? No, sir. Because I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am loved, I am forgiving, I am forgiven. I'm a child of the Most High God. I am all the things that confession. Where do those confessions come from? The Word of God. And that Word is never changing. And so I know that if I will confess what the Word of God says, I can stand on it no matter if TikTok's called Snapchat or TikTok shuts down or if hashtags change, but I can always confess great things over me. So as my social media platforms have built, the more the comments are more and more and more detrimental if I believe them. Does that make sense? And so I just want you guys to know, as you go and build these profiles, that you've also got to build your confessions over yourself, because that's like the antidote to depression from social media. Is that cool? So let's get into number 3 real quick. Facebook, 3.5 billion. YouTube, 2.5 billion. Instagram, number 3, 2 billion unique audience, monthly users. Number 4, TikTok. 1.58 billion unique active monthly users on TikTok. And Snapchat, which we're not going to talk about today, is 800 million. And then, one of my favorites, we're going to talk about it in just a minute. It's no longer called Google My Business, but it's probably one of the least talked about and most powerful, Google Business Profile. Let's get into that in just a second. Who has a Google Business Profile? Look at that.
That's awesome.
That's over half the room. Who remembers when it was called Google My Business? Anybody OGs in the room? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Google My Business. Google Business Profile. By the way, if people Google you, the first thing that comes up is Google Business Profiles. And Google Business Profiles, if you have a complete business profile, you are 7x. Everybody write down 7x. Google Business Profile, you're 7 times more likely to get clicked on if you have a complete profile. The average Google Business Profile has 11 photos. So if you have 11 photos, you're 2 times more likely to be clicked on with 11 photos. Well, Jonathan, what photos do I put on there? Now, this is a huge secret. A lot of people don't know that they just rolled out. You can be blogging on your Google Business Profile twice a week. Anybody in the room know that? Anybody blogging on their Google Business Profile twice a week? If you go, what's your name? I love that. The system that she used does it. What's your name? Liza, I owe you 10,000 golden virtual stars as well. So get with me afterwards. You know, here's the cool thing about this Google Business Profile. If you are blogging twice a week on there, if you go look at the Jonathan Cook team's Google My Business Profile, you will see that I took a selfie in the hotel room saying that I'm going to be with a bunch of great agents at Realty of America's headquarters. And everybody that ever searches Realtor in Crowley or Fort Worth, Texas, and we pop up, they see that I'm actively speaking and I'm at Realty of America and I'm here today. This is amazing. So what Google wants to happen is they want everybody watching today to have a Google Business Profile that they're blogging on. So what are they going to do to reward you for that activity? They're going to send you to the top in all the searches. Who wants to be on the top of Chicago Realtor search on Google or wherever you're watching from online? So here's how you do it. If you go to your Google Business Profile and you log in, here's the step-by-step how to do it. You know that About is there, reviews are there, photos. You're going to have to scroll to the right, edit my page. It's brand new. It's actually kind of hidden and you have to be looking for it. But if you go edit your page, you can put up a post, photos, and blog all about what you're doing in your real estate business. How about I'm going to a listing right now at 123 Main Street. I'll give you the price on my next blog on my Google My Business Profile. Oh, Google Business Profile. I'm still calling it Google My Business. Used it for so many years, called that. And then people can see your inventory, like your listing appointments on Google Business Profile. If you're not using it, my action step to you, those of you willing to take action on today's knowledge, write it down. Step 1 to action from today's, what are we going to call this? Show. Get a Google Business Profile for my team. Well, Jonathan, what if I don't have an office address? Use Eddie's. This is open to everybody. Use this. If you don't have an address, use your home address. Some of yours are officing from home. there might be a safety issue there, so I would prefer you like make it a goal in 2025 to get an office address that is Googleable. Is that a word? Did we just create a word together? All right, dude. Great new hashtag. Number 6, Googleable. There you go. There's your hashtag.
So, Jonathan, before you move on,
Yeah.
talk to me about why it is so important and critical that Google just released the opportunity to blog on your own profile. Because obviously, Google does not do anything by accident. And there is definitely an art and a science to this. So let's just give them some more details, go a little deeper on why it's so important for them to take advantage of the blog.
Yeah, so this is great. Ashley brought up a worthy question here, and this is very valuable here. Why do you think Google is now allowing people to blog on their profiles and creating a social media platform? Because they see the power of social media platforms. They're creating a social media platform, a place where you can share. What is Instagram? It's videos and pictures. So they're creating an Instagram portion of Google Business Profile. Share your videos, share your profiles. Also the blog. What is X? It's just a whole bunch of blogs on what that person that you're following is talking about. So it has the Instagram, TikTok version of Google Business Profile. It also has the X. And what are Facebook posts? What's the question Facebook asks you? What's on your mind, or what are you doing? So it's that. It's like Google is Google a smart company? Yes or yes? It's like Google has taken it all, put it in a NutriBullet, and they've made a smoothie out of it, and they've poured it all over their profile, and now people can drink the Google My Business Profile smoothie. and you can gain a following there, because what can your followers do on there that they can't do anywhere else like TikTok and Instagram? They can write you a what? A review. Who knows the power of reviews? This is cool because reviews are 24. Let me just ask before I say this so I can level the playing field. Who has ever employed someone? Raise your hand high. So you know it costs money to employ someone? You know the employees that will work for you 24 hours a day and 7 days a week and scream from the rooftop how awesome you are? Reviews. And the more reviews you have, the more employees you have on your marketing team for $0 and 0 cents. So our team has a little over 500 reviews on our Zillow profile, which, Zillow is did he just say that word? It's like I cussed. It's like Eddie's like got the cane around my neck and he's like pulling me off stage. You said something wrong. But, Zillow it was number 1 for years when you Google reviews. Now it's no longer. I'll let you guys make that your homework. When I go Google myself, where do my reviews show up the most? Is it my Realtor.com reviews, my Google reviews, my Facebook reviews, my Zillow reviews? We have we have 498, 4.9 out of 5-star Zillow reviews. And now we're building it up on Google. I just ruined it. Google's the top. The number 1 spot when you search reviews for Eddie Garcia's team or fill in the blank, Myrna and Jason's team, it's the Google reviews. So they're tired of allowing other review platforms to be number 1 on their search profile, so go focus on your Google reviews. And by the way, a Zillow review, they have to fill out a blood sample and donate to the Harvest House in India to get the review to publicize. And it takes 24 hours, sometimes 36 to syndicate those reviews, and you ask your client 3 or 4 times, you didn't do it, and they're like, I did it. Google, instant. You hit done, it's on your Google profile. So if you take nothing else, no knowledge at all from today and no action steps, take this one. Go get more reviews on your Google page. And if you came in here today or you're online today and you don't have any Google reviews at all, or you don't have a Google business profile at all, go get a Google business profile. That's your action step from today. One of them for somebody in the room. Was that valuable for somebody in the room? Yes. And by the way, when you're searching and Googling yourself, make sure you're doing that at least once a week. Guys, if you're not doing it once a month, some of you may not be Googling yourself at all. Be Googling yourself at least once a week to make sure your profiles are on point and to make sure that other people in your area aren't doing something that's burying you in search results. It would be a travesty if I searched Chicago Realtor and you're on page 6. No one clicks even to page 2. So you got to have a goal to be on page 1 of whatever communities you service in whatever business you are. And mostly what we're talking about today is real estate, but I know that there's some people online and in the room that aren't even realtors yet that have a desire, and maybe you're building a different business. Go be number one in your search field in your community at all times, and guard that like America guards the flag with a vengeance. Like, don't let anybody be above you. Don't let anybody steal your position once you get it. You know what I'm talking about? And just continue to look at that. The best way to find out if your profiles are on point is Google yourself. Is that cool? Does that help? All right, and so let's just do this. Let's just talk about keeping it real and being authentic. Because some of you might go to a conference or a seminar and go see like 90 different ways to do it, and you just go rip off and duplicate a way it's already being done and think that there's only one way to do this. And I saw somebody do a Facebook Live in front of a mansion and put all the captions in CapCut, and it was so great, and it zoomed in and a drone flew over. I'm going to go do that. But you know what works way better? Is just go be yourself. Because God has only made one version of you, and then he broke the mold. And guys, there is somebody in this room that needed to hear that I'm pulling the gift out of you of authenticity. Like, you are needed. Like, your comedy and your humor, the moment that you get on real estate and start selling on social media, goes viral because it was so needed. And it wasn't copied, it was just authentically who you were. Like, if you go look at my TikTok videos, and I have like 17 or 18 of them that I have over 1 million views or multi-millions of views, you will see it's mostly sports and entertainment. It's like Dallas Cowboys behind the scenes, and look at CeeDee Lamb pulling up in his Lambo. But what do people know about me? They know I'm a real estate agent. I don't have to scream from the rooftops, look at this house, look at this house, look at this living room. It's so different than that living room. And although that's great, and I do some of that too. But the majority of what you see with me is I build community. So this is number 4. Write this down. My goal with my social media is to build a community. And your pathway to millions of views is not one video. Like, I would love to have like this secret sauce that I'm just going to put in everybody's mind by you drinking it today, and your next video gets 37 billion views on TikTok overnight. But I don't have that, because really it doesn't exist. Because the key to TikTok is the key of 3. You want me to explain that real quick? So if you don't have a TikTok profile, you're going to after you leave today. So this is going to be valuable, whether it's valuable now or after you leave today, okay? So I want everybody to know that my goal for you today is to bring greatness out of you, but it's also for everybody to leave today with at least one more profile on social media than you had when you came in here. So if you don't have TikTok, to get one. If you don't have Instagram, to add it. If you've never done a Facebook Live, to start doing those. If you don't have a YouTube channel that does YouTube Shorts, get that one. If you have none of them, direct message me. We need to consult. Okay, because there's a quote. I love this quote. We don't have a choice on whether we do social media. The question is how well we do it. That was a quote by Eric Qualman, and that just emphasizes that social media is a necessity in modern business, not an option. It's not whether we have it or not, it's how well we do it. And so the power of 3 on TikTok is, when you go post a video on TikTok, do not just post one ever, never, 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 ever. Have another one that within 5 minutes, you post the second one, and within 5 more minutes, you post the third one. If your goal is to build a community on TikTok and go viral, and make sure that it's all around the same topic, okay? We don't want like a makeup application video, and then all of a sudden you're like at the Cowboys game, and all of a sudden you're in a luxury house posted one after another. Like, makeup application, if that's your thing, not my thing. Never mind. Makeup application is not my thing, but if it's your thing, post 3 in a row. 1, and make sure you're liking your own posts. Right? If you can't be your number 1 fan, then why do you expect anyone to be a fan of you? You've got to make sure that the content that you're posting is good enough for you to go put your own endorsement on it right when you post it. Okay? This is kind of like anti what a lot of you are thinking. I don't want to cut you off. So,
Sorry, Jonathan. I was going to ask you,
No,
so
no.
the power of three. So does the power of three also apply to Instagram?
Yeah.
Let's use that as an example.
Yes. So here's the cool thing about Instagram and TikTok. They work very well together, although they have different ownership and they're totally different platforms. The power of three works on Instagram as well. It's much more powerful on TikTok, though. TikTok is your most likely to explode social platform ever made. It's like the most chaotic. Like you could post something, and then an hour later, you worked months on it, you hired a crew, you used all the equipment in the world, and it's like the most hilarious, like nobody in real estate has ever done it before video, and you post that sucker, and the $950 you spent on it is like gonna pay off like 4x, and it's like, dude, this is gonna lead to like 10 closings and another 1,000 followers, and 2 hours later it has 3 views. That's TikTok. And then you like post Micah Parsons getting off the elevator in a lion suit and you spent nothing on it and it has 1 million views in a day. That's TikTok. TikTok is the most chaotic social media platform we have, which means it can rocket to the moon if you're doing it the right way, using the right hashtags. 3 videos, bam, bam, bam. Well, Jonathan, that's tough. How do I do that? 1 video at a time. You do the first one, then you do the second one, and then you do the third one. Here's a way you could do it. I'm at a house. I'm pulling up to the house. I have the little phone holder in my dash. I'm going to do a TikTok video. Yo, headed to this massive house in Berwyn. It's $4 million. It is going to blow your mind. Mind. And it's funny at the end. Gets a little viewership, couple hundred. 5 minutes later, all right, I'm in front of 123 Main Street. I told you, look at this sucker. Is it gorgeous? Who wants to see inside? Look for part 3 of this video. You don't even have to cut them in part 3s, but those are really good teasers. Because they're like, wait, I didn't see part 2 and 1. I'm going to go watch those. They work together. Synergy. Cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. Ecclesiastes 4:12. So a cord of 3 videos is not easily not chosen. That's the TikTok version of that. And so, is this interesting for anyone? Okay. And so you get to the point where you're like doing 3 videos at once. And all of a sudden, you're 3Xing every other person that wasn't on this video and not a part of this room today. You're like putting out 3 times the content of anyone else. And then they all start feeding off each other. And then the third video would be like, all right, here I am. And you find the most attractive part of that piece of real estate. Maybe it's the kitchen, maybe it's not. Maybe it's the pond out back. Maybe it's the view of downtown Chicago from the balcony. And then your third video is the payoff. Look at this, y'all. From the third story, I can see downtown Nashville. There's the AT&T Batman video building in the view of this Nashville high-rise condo. And that one starts to go viral because that's like the payoff. But it says part 3, and they're like, wait, I missed part 2. And then they go watch part 2 and part 1. And then you have these 3 synergetic. Does everybody know the word synergy? Where the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. It's like if Eddie and I work together and 1 + 1 isn't 2, it's 11. That's what these videos start to do. And that's the chaotic payoff of TikTok. But it can be addicting. The average person on TikTok spends 90 minutes a day on it. Multiply your dollar per hour times 1.5. That's what your thumb can cost you on TikTok if you're not purposeful about it. You know, some of us get to the point where we make $1,000, $1,200 an hour when we're on task. So, I mean, it can be expensive to be distracted by TikTok. Get on there, do your business, and get off. Like a couple things, get off. People think I'm on social media all the time. It's because you're either one of 2 things. Ooh, you're going to like this. This just came to me. I wasn't going to speak about this today. And I'll just, 15 seconds on this. You're either a consumer. You're either a creator of content or a consumer of content. Right. And those people that watch the news all day, man, God help them. The news is just trying to sell you the F word, fear. And as long as they can sell you fear, they can sell you advertising. And their advertisers will keep pumping the money in there. So you're either consuming content or creating it. So I'm not on social media all day consuming content. I'm on social media all day creating content. And so people think I'm all day. You didn't even like my post. I'm not on social media much. Yeah, you are. I see your stuff all the time. It's because you're consuming my content that I'm creating. And I'm not reciprocating it. Does that make sense? Anybody have some people in their life that are consumers of the news and you don't see them create any content. So back home, Taylor in the back, we have a podcast studio. We call it Airwave Studios. And we say we are on the airwaves creating the conversation. Isn't it much better to create the conversation than let the news have the conversation at you and for you? Mm-hmm. So I want all you guys to decide today, am I a creator of content or merely a consumer of content?
Okay, so Jonathan, I'm going to jump in here because
Please.
I know I knew you were going to have tons to bring today, and it's going fast. I know you're very passionate about Facebook groups and Facebook Live, and so I'd love for you to talk to everybody about how Facebook Live also feeds into having Facebook groups, because I know you really like using those together, and that's another one of his power strategies. So let's talk Facebook Live and Facebook groups.
This is going to be buckle your seatbelt. Does everybody have their seatbelt on? All right, prepare for turbulence. All right, here we go. So Facebook groups is where I've built my business. A lot of you will know about Facebook pages, but those are a thing of the past. I'm going to give you the freedom and permission to delete your Facebook pages and convert to Facebook groups. Facebook came out in 2021 in the midst of COVID, and not a lot of people caught it and said, we are going away from pages and we are going into groups. And so when they did that, they showed where their allegiance was. And so at that time, I remember that was May of 2021, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create a Facebook group, and I'm just going to be the social media mayor of my area. I'm going to be the community pillar of my area. And at that time, our team had been in business since 2013, October of 2013. So we were about 8 years in the business. And I switched, and I started 5 groups. I called one of them, and y'all probably need to take notes on this one, because I called one, I'll give you the names that I've named them, so y'all can just go rip off and duplicate this part. Called one of them Burleson Residents and Neighbors. That group now has 31,000 people in it. Guess who runs the group, and guess who owns the group? The person who started it. So now that group has like 3 posts. Oh, sorry. That I agree. That post has like 3 posts an hour now. Like there's a kangaroo loose on Wilshire Boulevard. This is hilarious. Whose kangaroo is loose? And that'll get like 650 shares and all the comments in the world. And like I'm just here with the popcorn for the comments. And the group is like the place now to go like find out, is school going to be canceled because of the snow tomorrow? It happens in my group. Is Burleson Nissan really shutting down because the smokehouse next door has smoke coming in and all the new cars smell like ribs? Yeah, that's a topic in my group. Why do we have another freaking roundabout in Burleson, Texas? I'm like losing my mind with all the roundabouts and car washes and banks we have in town, and they're bringing another one? I love those. Keep it coming. Because that does what? Builds my group. Builds the community. What are we talking about today? Building community. So then Burleson Residents and Neighbors goes to 31,000 members. I'm like, I'm going to start the next town over. Crowley Residents and Neighbors. 7,600 people in that one. You know what? I'm going one further. I'm going to Alvarado. Alvarado Residents and Neighbors. 4,700 in that one. You know what? I'm starting another one in Crowley. Crowley Residents Talking. 5,000. Just let the residents talk. Y'all just keep talking about it. It's making me famous.
Okay, so you know me, I love to be tactical and practical. So you've had massive success in building these Facebook groups. Mm-hmm. So if anybody watching today here in our audience wants to apply this strategy, what would you say are like the top 3 ways that they could go about starting their own group?
Oh, that's a good question. So if you want to start a group, here's how you do it. So go to Facebook, search groups. Before you get you've heard the quote, comparison is the thief of joy. The moment you search groups in Chicago, you're going to see like someone already has like Chicago Talk. And it has like 160,000 members, because I like researched this last night. I was like, I wonder what the groups are here. Should I start Chicago Residents and Neighbors? I didn't think that, Eddie. Don't worry. I want you guys to go start the groups here. Berwyn Residents and Neighbors. Who's going to start it? Chicago Residents and Neighbors. So you hit Facebook, you search groups, you hit the plus sign, create group, you add a banner. Guys, here's the tip. Make sure your headshot's in the banner. So if you go, I would invite everybody to just go join my group, Burleson Residents and Neighbors. I know you don't live in Fort Worth, but just go see how I've done it. And go look at my topper. It says, hey, I'm Jonathan. I'm a real estate professional. For anything you need, welcome to Burleson Residents and Neighbors. Here's my phone number. Enjoy the group. And I have a couple rules in the group. You have to be willing, if you're going to join, to abide by the rules. And then we don't let any businesses advertise in that group. On Saturdays, we've started doing something new. Now that we've grown to so big, people want to pay us all the time. Can I advertise in that topper on your group? Can I put my landscaping company? So there is a way to monetize it. We have just chosen to not monetize it. That's not my goal for it, because that would be a whole nother business I would have to run. So if you choose to monetize it once it grows, it's very easy. The companies in town want to post on your page, and they're willing to pay big money for that. But Burleson Residents and Neighbors, make sure your topper is all about you as you grow it, or grow it organically for a little bit. Before they see your plan, like I didn't put my headshot up there until we hit like 15,000 people in the group. And I was like, bam, my group, my advertising. I worked so hard for years building and deleting cuss word comments. I'm now going to market on this thing. And it just continues to grow. And then we set up something that all of you are going to want to set up, which is a welcome post when the new people join. So we get like 60, 70 people a day. Once a day, a welcome post goes out without me doing it. You can set this up automatically through Facebook. Welcome to Burleson Residents and Neighbors. Jason Smith, Taylor Perkey, Brandon Smith, Myrna Smith, Ashley Polito, all the people. And they get a welcome email and they're tagged in it and they're like, I found a community. Similar to the feeling that you have in this room right now. I found a community. And it's like Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall, Chad Smith quote, and he never got put back together again. Like these communities all disbanded in COVID, but the ones that are finding each other like this are more powerful than ever. Mm-hmm. And so they feel a part of a community. They get an automatic welcome post. And then on Saturdays, we just started doing this free roll Saturday. Post, advertise, whatever you want on this post. And I mean, it's like 1,000 comments. I'm the best landscaper. Here's my business card. I'm the best photographer. Here's my... And on Saturdays, business owners come to our groups, and they get to advertise there. Now, just 3 weeks ago, we started doing, because we're pretty big, 31,000 in a town of 60,000 population, we're pretty powerful. Keeps people from gossiping about me, because they know that I got some power. Hope nobody's watching back home. That's a funny joke. But seriously. So the group header, make sure it's branded to you once it gets big enough, and then we started doing a Burleson Citizen of the Week. And we'll tell a story of like a Dollar General employee. The lady didn't have enough money for groceries. She came from behind the counter and scanned her own debit card. So the lady didn't have to put her groceries back. Put that lady's picture of that happening, the story of it, and then her name. And she was nominated as our Burleson Residents and Neighbors Citizen of the Week. That got like 1,200 shares.
So just
1,200 likes. It was
just
huge.
a thought here, just a thought.
Yeah.
So something like that, could you also plug into your Google Business Profile blog?
Wow, what a cool idea.
Boom. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
right
I love
there.
this idea.
That's
so one step further, merge them. Hey guys, it's time in my Google Business Profile to nominate the Burleson Residents and Neighbors Citizen of the Week. What a great blog post.
There you go.
I love this.
So take us back to, before it was 31,000, it was you and it was zero, right? So for everybody who wants to start this group outside of the technical aspect of it, what's the first post going to be? How are they going to get this going and get the momentum happening?
I love that. And so all of you have your Facebook following already. So just the announcement post on your personal Facebook is the step one. Hey, I just created a group for our community. It's called Burleson Residents and Neighbors. Go join my group. You will leave that post usually with somewhere between, it depends on your audience, but you should have your first 100 members in your group right off that personal post on your Facebook page. Join my group. This is something that not a lot of people talk about because they're so busy talking about Instagram and TikTok that they miss Facebook groups and Google Business Profile. Massive. Massive. The number one social media platform still is Facebook by 1 billion, not even close. Mm-hmm. Like 33% bigger than second place.
Okay, so one more thing about Facebook, and then I want to touch on another fabulous strategy before we have to kind of start winding it down into our wrap up. So Facebook Live, very important to you. And let's talk about the strategy behind Facebook Live and how it ties into the group, because both of them together become very powerful.
Yeah, once your group gets big enough, you can go live in your group. So that's huge. Every now and then I'll go live in Burleson Residents and Neighbors. Once you go live on your personal page and you guys start doing Facebook Live, which all of you are going to start doing after today and online, you can, in the first 30 seconds of a Facebook Live, a small icon will be there for just a second, and you have to be looking for it. That'll say share to groups. Well, now our team and I run like 7 groups. So the moment that I go live, I click share to, like the first 15 seconds of all my Facebook Lives that you watch, I'm sharing it to groups. I'm saying, hey, give me just a second, let me share this to the groups. And then my viewership goes from like 7 people live to like 40 people live, because we're live in like 7 of the groups that we've built, the communities that we're talking about building today. And then I get off my personal Facebook Live where I'm going live from, and I've shared it to all these Facebook groups, and it has like 800 to 2,000 views right when I come off Facebook Live. And then I come back later to my Facebook Live, and it's like 4,000 views and 10,000. And I'm like, this is like stealing candy from a baby, but not many people are talking about this. So I built the groups that empower my Facebook Live, that remind people on 7 groups that I'm the agent team of choice with our agents, systems, and standards, and I'm going live about a real estate topic or some other topic under the sun, and it's all promoting everything I'm doing. It's growing the audience and community of the groups. It's growing my Facebook Live numbers, which grows my authenticity. And guys, 93% of the time, people look at reviews and authenticity online before they decide to hire you. So the more that I can grow my community and authenticity, and then people see, oh man, every time Jonathan goes live, people love his stuff and comment on his stuff. Look how many people love, know him, and like him, and trust him. And it just brings that KLT. I mean, that's the number 1 acronym in real estate, KLT. They have to know, like, and trust you. And once they KLT you're going to be their realtor for life and their consultant, not their salesperson.
I love that. I love that. KLT, I love that. That was a new spin. So that is a perfect segue into what I like to call your texting tornado strategy or message mania strategy. So let's talk about that, because this is something very simple that everybody can do right now.
Yeah, this is huge. So Ashley and I were talking about this a little bit, and I'm texting between 120 and 180 people a day. And that's just come off a habit that I started years ago when that's all I could do. I got tired of calling, and so I said, I'm going to send text. And so most of the time I just start with clients that I'm engaged with, some sort of I'm thinking about you text today, some sort of just a touch. Sometimes they turn into a 2-way conversation. I'm not saying I'm having 170 2-way conversations. Like I might send something like, Geraldo, ? Because he hasn't responded to something. And I might spend like 30 of like Jenny, ? Geraldo, like a Realtor.com lead or an incoming lead that they haven't responded to. Maybe 30 of them are that. But text messaging is so much easier and such a higher response rate than phone calls anyways. I have just built my team on texting, the texting tornado. But if you're not communicating, it's 20 contacts a day that we have to do in real estate to be successful. It's proven. But if you're not communicating through 20 different avenues, you're making it harder on yourself. 20 dials is the most heavy lifting possibility of those 20 contacts. Does it count when I get on Facebook Live and I'm starting a real estate conversation and I come off and there's 600 views? Is that at least 20 contacts a day in real estate? Nailed it. Just about a few minutes of my time. So texting is something that I just wanted to touch on and let you guys know. There's still a lot of agents out there sending a ton of texts a day. Don't give up on that either. I'm just showing you a way of the future, but please don't give up on the ways of the past that are still there. Let me give you some stats real quick on Google Business Profile. 45% of businesses with the appointment scheduler on their Google Business Profile get booking requests. So make sure you have your appointment scheduler set to on Google My Business, because we're all trying to set appointments, right? Make sure you have an average of 11 photos on your profile. 90% of consumers read reviews before deciding who to hire. That was a 2022 stat. Now it's 93% in 2025. And I love the thing, I touched on this earlier, but 94% of users use Google Maps to locate businesses. You only will show up on Google Maps if you have a Google business profile. So I hope you heard that today. Improve or get a Google business profile. This is interesting on TikTok. 75% of users are 20 years or older. We have sold homes to 19 and 20-year-olds, and over 75% of the users on TikTok are older than that, although we think it's just our kids. 2 billion users monthly, 55% on TikTok are female, 45% male. The app has been downloaded over 4 billion times. Watch this. 272 videos a second are going up on TikTok right now. Over 34 million videos a day are being posted on TikTok. So you can choose to adapt or die. It's the same with AI. Like some of you in the room have DeepSeek. Some of you are still on ChatGPT 4.0. Some of you don't even know what ChatGPT is. So you certainly don't know what DeepSeek is. I'll come back and share that next time I'm asked back, if I get asked back. I just assume the sale right there, Eddie, like when I come back, when I get asked back. But the whole point of all this is community engagement through apps. And I just want you guys to know that building a community is the powerful way to success. A lot of people know Realty of America because what was built before Realty of America? A community called Rock, Realty of Chicago. And all this is a community. People love and are addicted to stories. So make sure if you're posting on Facebook, you're not showing your commission check with the routing number blacked out in Sharpie. And if that's you on here, go ahead and send me all the grief you want about that, but stop posting your checks and think that that inspires people. What inspires people is stories. Why I'm at Realty of America is Eddie Garcia's humble story, followed by Mark Demas's humble story of authenticity and humble beginnings. And it's attractive. The most unattractive thing in the world is an unattractive realtor. And it's giving all of us a bad name. So stop doing it. We don't just take mattresses of money to the bank. That's not our job title. Although that's what a lot of people say. They either say that or they say we're used car salesmen in a little bit more expensive suit. No, man. We're storytellers of fantastic consultations from contract to close. And when they get off the train at closing town with a big hug and we tell that story, every transaction and every listing and every buyer, if done the right way, should create another transaction, another listing, and another buyer. So if you just go out there today because of something I said and get one of those, one buyer, one listing, or one transaction, and you do it the right way that I've taught you today, you should have business forever because all you need to fall is that first domino. And then the rest will fall if marketed properly. And the next one will fall if marketed properly. And the next one will fall. And then you have this big community of former clients that are going to call you for repeat referral business. And that's how you build. I mean, I closed 67 houses my first year as an individual agent and got Rookie of the Year at Keller Williams. And then year 2 it built, and I closed 105 houses year 2 in the business alone. Like just kind of me and a family member that didn't know what they were doing. Could you help me for a moment? And then year 3 I built a team, and I realized the power of leverage. And we closed a little over 167 in year 3 and then over 250 year 4 and continued to grow. And we're now in year 11 and we have over 2,000 past sales, but we don't call them that. They're 2,000 powerful stories. And guys, if you will just change one thing, my mindset is mine to set. My mindset is mine to set. And if you will just shift one thing in your mindset today, that I'm no longer transactional, and in that room today I made a decision to go relational, everything will grow for you in a positive manner. And I hope that today you heard me say that it's powerful to build community, but it's more powerful to build authentic community.
I love that. Can we give him a huge round of applause? That was amazing. That was amazing. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to do a couple of things as we're kind of winding down. So I want to shout out to our live streamers. This is the time. If you have a couple of questions for Jonathan, hopefully our team right now is showing you a QR code. Scan that QR code, or there's a phone number. text in or use a QR code to text in your questions. We're going to do a couple of questions if our live streamers have some, and then we are going to shift to our VIP after party for everybody who's here in the room. So way to go for everybody who's here in our live studio audience. So we're going to be doing a VIP mastermind right after this. But before any of that, I would love for you all to give a huge round of applause to Miss Irma De Leon for our Mortgage Minute.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Ashley. Jonathan, I just have to say, wow. First of all, thank you for being here, flying up here from beautiful Texas, where it's nice and warm. But I just have to say, social media can be very intimidating, right? I know I'm very intimidated. We had a great conversation about that last night. But what I loved about today is you gave the roadmap, and you brought it to life. It wasn't, sometimes you see these people, you got to do this, you got to do that, but they don't show the life of it, and they don't bring it to life, and you did that for us today, so thank you so much.
You're awesome.
Thank you. Let's give a round of applause, please. So I just want to ask everybody, if you were to take let's say a road trip, what would you have to do? You'd probably have to plan, right? So you'd have to think about where you're going to go, first of all. Then you'd have to make your checklist. Then you'd have to say, okay, am I taking my car that I put gas in or my Tesla? So do I have to think about where I'm going to charge it, right? You got to make the plan. But you know your destination and where you're going to be, right? Okay. So I want to encourage all of you to think about that perspective for your clients. As the guide and the realtor, if they're planning to buy a house, it can be very intimidating, like social media, and you're the ones that are taking them along the ride. So you're going to help them right away at the beginning, even if they say, like, I'm not looking for 2, 3, 4, even a year later, like months and later. It's okay, start them now. Start them with the checklist, right? The destination is a home, so you're going to find out how many bedrooms, that type of thing, and start painting the picture for them. Then get them with your loan officer. Super important, because a lot of the times the issue is credit or assets or even job history, that type of thing. So they're not going to know that until you actually have them sit with a professional. So I want to encourage all of you to be the navigator in that beautiful picture and roadmap that you're planning and helping your clients with. Don't be shy. And if you work alongside your lender, I'm sure they're going to be very happy to help you through all of that. So take the time to do that, not only for you, but for your clients as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Irma. Yay. Okay, so live streamers, I've been looking at your questions, so we are going to field a few. And again, live studio audience, we are going to have our special VIP mastermind afterwards. And I do want to let everybody know, if you want to give a shout out for your Instagram handle, TikTok handle, for all the things that we talked about today, Jonathan has what I like to call bonus materials, bonus resources, right? So if you would like anything that he talked about today, about how to build community, please DM him, and he is happy to answer additional questions. And I know you have some PDFs and you have a lot of resources that you've built that he is very happy to give away. So just DM him. So give a shout out, and our live streamers, you're probably seeing a QR code probably right around now.
Yeah, so all my Instagram is at I am Jonathan Cook. So it's the same on TikTok, the same on Instagram, and you can find me there. I think that one thing that we really, really, really want to do, and just take 10 seconds, guys, if you would just open your phones real quick and open your contacts and go to the letter D. D as in dog. And let's pull up our contacts. And we have a ton of people in the room. I can't see the numbers online. But do this online. It's even more important online because there's a larger audience online than in the room. So get your contacts out. Open the letter D, and I want you to pick one person and send a text to them. And just say, I was thinking about you. You popped in my head today. I want to check in and see how you're doing, or I'm praying for you if you want to go to that level. And as a bonus, copy that same text and send it to 2 other people that pop up right there. Guys, if we will do this, if everybody in the room and everybody online will do this, we will at least triple the impact that this episode had today. And we're all talking about building community and impact. So let's just say there's 100 people in the room, and we all send 3 texts. That goes out to 300 people plus the 100 in the room. That's 400 people impacted today rather than the 100 in the room. And if there's 1,000 online watching, which likely there's probably 1,000 to 1,500, maybe more, and we all send that, that's 4,500 extra people that received a gratitude or a bucket-filling text, an uplifting text today, plus the 400 in here. That's over 5,000 people that were impacted today, rather than just the numbers that are online and in the room. And guys, afterwards, I challenge you to just put your phone down after you send the text. Just, hey, thinking about you popped in my head, want to see how you're doing. Put it face down, and the blessing will come to you in just a few minutes when you pick your phone up and you see the responses. And this will bring some of you to tears, because some of the responses will be like, nobody's checked on me in months. I am going through one of the darkest, deepest, biggest struggles ever. And your text means everything to me. I'm not okay. And then you started a two-way conversation with someone that needed you. Because you got your bucket filled today, you've got a little bit to give, right? But you might send the text, and I'm speaking divinely, you probably will send the text to somebody whose bucket's not near as full as yours is online right now or in the room. Mm-hmm. This could be impactful that we're a part of something with literally 5,000 people impacted if we'll all do this. So I just wanted to take a moment. That was the back end of the text twister or text tornado that we do. But it's all about impact and building community.
All right, beautiful. Okay, so let's hop to a couple of questions. Yeah, you give a round of applause for that. Absolutely, 100%. Okay, so I have seen a couple of this same question come through, so I absolutely want to ask it. A lot of people are talking about, business versus personal. Do I need to have separate accounts, a separate business account, a separate personal account on IG, Facebook? So let's just kind of address that.
I just spoke on this in, where were we, Chad? I'm acting like Chad's going to respond. Where were we, Miguel? Where were we, Angelique? I just spoke on this in Arlington last week. And so the difference between someone that wants to do all in on one and the person that wants to split business and personal is it all comes down to capacity. Some of you have 3 children or 6 children or 20 children and a business, and it's like impossible to run James Sells Texas, which is a great Instagram account, and James Harold Irwin, which is a great Instagram account. James Irwin separates business Instagram and personal Instagram. Me, I choose to just keep it all there. You're going to see my Dallas Cowboys content. You're going to see my listings. You're going to see I'm in Chicago. I've just made it to where if you follow me, you follow me. And you see the Forever the Sickest Kids version. You see the basketball and Pee Wee football coach version. You see the family man version. And you see the real estate version of me. And you get it all in one place. I think there is a right or wrong answer, because if you don't have the capacity for it and you choose to run multiple accounts that you don't have time for, everyone will fail. Choose multiple rabbits, catch none. And so multitasking is a lie. Like, stay focused on however many you can. And if you can run a business and a personal, do it. More power to you. That's building 2 communities. But if you can't, no judgment zone, NJZ. This is no judgment zone here. Just run one and run it like a marathon.
Okay, next question is, this agent is feeling like, gosh, I don't have that many followers yet, so she's wanting to know, well, gosh, about how long is it going to take me to build a Facebook group, a powerful one like you did?
The answer is it depends. And what it depends on is how much focus you give it, how good your content is, and how much the area that you are doing it in already has saturated. Like, it would be real easy for me to say, oh my gosh, the group in town when I was starting that already had like 13,000. I was way behind. But now I've risen up and like we're starting to bridge the gap. And so they have the biggest group in my area has like, I don't want to misquote it, but 60,000 maybe, and mine has 30. I'm certainly good with a 30,000 group, because the opposite of that would have been, I'm not going to start a group at all because there's already someone doing a big group in this area. But I went ahead and did it, and I've got the second largest group. And then people that are like, I don't like that group. All that is drama moms. I want to be on your group only. So now I have the second best option, and we're getting a lot of the if you don't like that group, come to mine. If you don't like mine, leave and go to that one, So it just depends. You know, I would say that the biggest thing to remember is comparison's the thief of joy. Celebrate when your group has its first member, because that's a tiny little victory. And then when you go to 10, you've just 10x'd your group, baby.
That's right.
Like,
That's right.
celebrate 10 people in your group. And then when you go to 100, you've 10x'd it again. Go to this steakhouse in town and celebrate.
Okay, so the next question is time management. And I know you are incredibly intentional about your time. So maybe we could just give everyone just a flavor for what you're still hot over there.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
So maybe just give everybody an idea of how you manage your time, because they're, you know, right? It's like, well, I'm a professional realist, right? And then you're telling me I've got to do everything on social media, and how am I going to juggle all this?
Get a personal assistant the moment you can afford it. Big shout out to Nicole Reeves and Chamberlain Smith, who are both watching this and implementing anything that I say on this call that needs to be implemented, or on this show that needs to be implemented. I have a personal assistant for my family man life, for my home, my kids, meals, laundry. I have a personal assistant for my work life, which is like systems, standards, CRM, the switch from KW to ROA, a big event we're hosting. Like, I have 2 personal assistants, and there was a time where I couldn't afford that, and there will be a time when you can't. But before you can afford it, just remember it like a ditch and a highway. Guys, don't get too far in one lane where you literally go in the ditch with your family. Because we are all juggling balls, and some of the balls are rubber and some of them are glass. If you drop those glass balls, they will shatter, and you unjuggle everything to pick up, and they cannot be put back together. The glass balls are your children, your faith with the Lord, your spouse if you have one, your children if you have them. You drop those things, they shatter. But I drop a listing appointment, that'll bounce back. I missed one listing appointment, or I missed one. I mean, I don't want you missing appointments, so don't hear me wrong. But those things aren't near as bad as your children feel like you have no time for them. And you're texting when you're talking to them and not giving them eye-to-eye contact they deserve. And your spouse feel like you're coming home at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m. and missing dinner every night. So it's just about counterbalance is what that's called. Make sure that your car stays in the lane. It can't be all over the highway, because it'll go in the ditch, and then it takes forever to recover. And if you want to talk about that, DM me on Instagram. I'd be glad to talk more about the life-work balance that is very healthy. And my passwords to a lot of my things are healthy pace and some numbers. I'm not going to tell you the numbers. But healthy pace is like my mantra for my life. You've got to go at a healthy pace on this. And guys, remember, I told you I started the group in May of 21. So here I am in few hours from February of 25, and I'm talking about a group of 30,000 members. But before it had 30,000, it had 3,000, and before I had 3,000, it had 3. So just remember, counterbalance all your way to success.
I love that. Okay, so before we go into our final wrap up, I would love to give everyone a couple of reminders. So I'm going to do another shout out to our live streamers. I want to remind you to go follow us on our page, America's Real Estate Show, as well as our YouTube channel. These are both new. We would love for you to follow us there, and that's where you will find out about every special guest that we are having and featuring here. We'll be here next week. We are here every single Friday featuring amazing top producers just like Jonathan.
How do you do it, Ashley? How do you do it?
It is so fun. Everybody has the untold story behind the story. We hope that we did that for you today. So please join us back here next week at 11 a.m. Central. Okay, so now let's go into our wrap up. And for our studio audience, we will be doing a special VIP mastermind with you. And so, Jonathan, if you would just wrap all of this up for us, give us your final shout out. What is the one, and you've dropped so many amazing nuggets. So what is the one thing that you really want to make sure that people have heard today?
I am grateful for everyone that watched today. So if you hear nothing else, just know that my heart of gratitude is like swelling up inside me. So I don't want to tear up, but like this is like a safe place in here so I can tear up. But man, this company has changed my life, and I wasn't given opportunities like this before. So I can't wrap this up.
Yes!
But thank you, guys. Eddie said last night that he doesn't cry, but I do. So we're different. Different but the same. But no, thank you to everyone. I would wrap it up and say just take action on one thing. I know I shared a lot, and don't think you have to implement all of it. But if you implement one thing today and someone in the room's life changed or someone online's life changed because of what was shared today, every bit of this was worth it. So just go take action on one thing.
Let's do it. All right, that's a great place for us to end today. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Okay, live streamers, we will see you back here next week. And Jonathan, thank you so much for sharing your time and your heart with us today, because that is what this is all about. We are not just sharing strategies, we are changing lives 1 minute, 1 moment at a time. And thank you for being here in this moment with us today.
My pleasure.
Absolutely crushed it. We appreciate you so much. All right, that's a wrap. Episode 8. We'll be back next week.